Now, to discuss this, I'm joined by Economist Akin Fatunke. Good evening, Akin. Thank you so much for joining me on the news.
Thank you very much, Dashen. It's a pleasure to be here. Good evening, Nigerians.
The pleasure is mine. Now, what impact, Akin, do you think the removal of these directors and employees, is expected to have on the operations and the stability of the CBN?
Well, on the face value, Dashen, it just sits well with the same message that Dr. Yemi Cardoso has been enunciating since he assumed the samurai position in CBN, and that is monetary policies, taming inflation, core areas of the CBN functions, no more or no less. And I like to say to you that, the factors of production, people talk about capital, people talk about land, people talk about some other resources. The most important resource is the human factor. Human resources are just like the neck, determines where the neck will shift to and otherwise. So it could be positive, it could be negative. So in my honest opinion, I think it sits very pretty with the vision of the CBN for the monetary, that we are going to go away, radical departure from what we used to do before. Now we have some 67 within a space of less than a month, giving strength and direction that development finance is not the focus of CBN. Micro nano financing that has taken 10 trillion, according to CBN governor, 10 trillion. I want to ask you, Dashen, I want to ask Nigerians, what is the total budget for Nigeria? What is the total budget for Lagos State? What is the total budget for Kano State, for Rivers State, for any state of Nigeria in that consideration? So the CBN governor has clearly stated, I do not have the competency, I do not have the time to now take monies into all these areas, and we're not getting enough returns. I am prepared to do the appropriate clap from the monetary authorities to advise government. Hopefully, from the other policy stream, we can begin to produce. So it's all over the place, whether it's a private sector, whether it's a public sector. When you are more than adequate for requirement, you will naturally have to do away with it.
All right, Akin. Yeah.
Fairly focusedly.
All right. Now, you did say that, the dismissals are in line with what Cardoso has been saying for a while and also his objectives. But then what procedures were followed in the dismissal process? And were there any legal or procedural challenges raised during the process?
Dashen, so that I caught your question from the back. Clearly, like I said, procedurally. And whoever wants to come to equity must come with strong hands. Now, those that were taken to FSS 2020, awaiting their next call, when they were sacked, I recall 2 of those directors accepted their fate. And right now, they are facing the EFCC. 5 others raised a query. What have we done? We are not Emefiele directors. We merely implemented what the board asked us to implement, and not necessarily a Emefiele thing. Again, you get into what you call a thin line between what you are asked to do, what you should do regularly as a process, and even if you are asked to do it, make sure that you do proper documentations to say, perhaps I disagree with what is happening here, but look at that 6.2 million heist that happened in the CBN branch in Abuja. It's been revealed allegedly that many of these directors, assistant directors, were part and parcel of what was said was a gradual hasting of taking our money, colluding and recolluding to take our money out. Unfortunately, you are going to be affected. Now, if you look at Rule 0304, 22 of the Public Service Rules, it says that if you are in public service, you are not permitted to go take up an employment in the National Assembly, want to run for governor. However, allegedly, we are beginning to hear that some of the albeit affected directors, maybe because they belong to the APC, as an example, and saying exactly as it is, they went out and they are back. Are we showing that the sword of Damocles is being fair on all concerned? And in any case, what about the compensation package? It's not just enough for you to say these people are in excess of requirements. Have you discussed their package? I want to believe that will have been discussed.
Okay.
Have you decided that you are going to implement it in a way? Don't forget, Dashen, we are in a throes of losing about 200 years of cognate experience of some of these trained staff that if we are not careful and we don't do the management of change properly, we may lose out. So it will be seen to be fair. And finally, I want to also say that it's also been alleged, and we must say it, maybe not necessarily directly. We have an acting director, coordinator of currency. Okay, Yemi Cardodo. His appointment has not been approved, and it's been alleged that he's signing the currency. Is that the procedure? Even if you say that is the procedure, you must be seen to be above board. People should not be able to now then pull the strings at your side. You must be sparkling clean so that it's not seen as if you are witch hunting. If you look at this 67, I think they are equally spread from different parts and different religions. So people cannot say maybe you are trying to be offensive. I will be interested to see if there are going to be replacements.
Okay.
In certain, not the empty, the kind of people that will come under what I call competence to drive it to the next level. But so far, I think the same CBN governor is winning my heart, and I'm talking about me personally. And hopefully, if the other club, is appropriately met and will begin to produce, I think Nigeria is going to be in a throes of winning ways again.
All right, Mr. Fatunke, I think, while a lot of people might actually have different opinions about this, the most important thing is that, this, overhaul actually is effective. That's the most important thing. Yes, the effectiveness of the overall is what people are actually on for, because there have been so many policies, there have been so many moving around, but the effectiveness of the implementation is what people are actually out for. But thank you so much for joining me and speaking to me on this.
Thank you very much. Effectiveness and efficiency. There will be pushback, no doubt about that, but you need to be focused and need to be fair and equitable. Thank you very much, Dashen.
Thank you very much, sir.